Over 2,800 miles, 46 hours, 2 tornadoes, and I lost count of how many states. Yep, I was on the road, but I'm back to bring you some amazing news. As the ETH ETF appears to be on our doorsteps, the market is looking juicy. We've also got XRP juicy news as Wisdom is buying some XRP. We're going to talk XRP price action at the end. I'm glad to be back, everyone. And as always, viewers' comments come first in this video. VR Fanatic says, no Klaus for 3 days. Well, I'm back, baby. That's right. Went to pick up my daughter in South Dakota. She's moving back in with us. Big Country says, Fit 21 pass. Money printer, go burr. Yeah, let's see what happens with that because I don't know if the Senate is going to be down. I've got some XRP news at the end to share with you and also some ETH news. Ooh. Heat map, haven't done this for a few days. You think I still got it? Bitcoin sitting at 68,903, ETH 3826. Why is ETH pumping close? Well, we're going to talk about it. Why is Sol deep in the green? We're going to talk about it. Sol 172, getting close to 200. XRP 526. We're going to talk about XRP here soon. Look at Arbitrum deep. Look at PayPay up 30% here in the last week. Juicy, juicy goodiness. All right, let's talk about this. The SEC initiates some discussions on ETH ETF. Okay, so like if the ETH ETF is going to get launched, what happens is the SEC is going to give the exchanges, the people that are going to be listing the products, the heads up. They're not just going to say, yo, boom, it's approved, and then, look, we start like a second later. They're going to be like, look, we're going to give you the heads up, the professional courtesy, and that's kind of what's going on right now. All right, meanwhile, for Ethereum ETFs to receive approval, the SEC must first approve the 19B4 forms as it did in the order for Bitcoin. Once these forms are approved, the S1 registration statements must become effective before trading can commence. Typically, they go under multiple amendments before final approval. Not a big deal, right? And we saw that with the Bitcoin ETF. Before that was launched, there was a whole bunch of back and forth because the SEC wants to make sure that everything is right. Now, what's interesting about this, though, is that they've already given the exchanges the, you might want to prepare for this speech. Matrix Port co-founder Daniel Yan weighs in on ETF approval, outlining 3 potential scenarios and their impacts. Yan anticipates a sell on the fact response if only the 19B4 approved. A very bullish sentiment if both the 19B4 and S1s are approved. And very bearish if they're rejected. Yeah, if it's rejected, that would not be good. Okay. The deal, though, is that the ETF from ETH is available because of futures options, okay? That's kind of what the SEC said with Bitcoin. They're like, look, you need to have a futures market with Bitcoin. You're going to have the same thing with ETF. So that's like when people are like, yo, what about an XRP ETF? Well, you got to get some futures first, girlfriend, and we don't have that. Now, who could be next? Solana? Really? Listen to this. Solana steps up to the plate. CEO predicts it could be the next crypto ETF. Brian Kelly, co-founder and CEO of some company that I don't give a shit about, believes Solana is a strong contender for an ETF due to its growing popularity and potentially be part of the big 3. The sentiment aligns with the recent surge in anticipation around the Ethereum ETFs, which we just talked about. Now, I wanted to bring this up because there's 2 sides of the coin, right? I mean, there's 2 sides of the story. So, you got the CNBC guest here that's like, yo, Sol will have the next spot ETF. And what we've seen here is when BTC got the ETF, price action pumped. ETH, before I left, ETH was hovering right around 3,000. And now it's up to 3,800. Dude, that's almost like a 30% pump while I've been driving. Maybe I should just drive and do road trips like all the time because then the market will pump. For real, 46 hours and over 2,800 miles I did in 3 days of driving. It's called parental love, everyone. I was doing family shit. All right, so that's why Sol is pumping hard too, because now they're like, well, wait a minute. You think Sol can make this happen? But here's the problem. Nate Gerassi is like, yo, no Sol ETF until either CME traded Sol futures exist or Congress puts legit crypto regulatory framework in place. That goes back to Big Country with Fit 21 passed. The problem with the financial innovation thing is that we might have some problems with the Senate rejecting it. And if they reject it and we don't see anything even close to a resolution or like a compromise between the two, guess what? Ain't shit gonna happen because it's an election year. All right, So I showed you both sides of the story when it comes to the SOL ETF. Look, we don't have futures yet. That's far off. That's why SOL didn't pump extremely crazy, but that's why ETH over the last several days has really pumped because of the ETF action. All right, listen to this story. This is in regards to XRP, and you tell me, is this real? Is this bullshit? Is this hopium? Is this me having a little bit of driver lag error? Let's learn, everyone. Wall Street expert says wisdom is buying XRP now before the big money gets in. Wall Street financial expert Linda Jones has endorsed the idea that XRP is now being bought by big money of institutions. Jones conveyed this sentiment on X recently, reacting to a podcast where James J. attempted to give XRP holders reasons to be less frustrated about the movement. All right, this is the problem here, okay? So, wisdom buying XRP, I mean, I get it, okay? Is this a hopium thing? Is this a news thing? Well, I mean, like, the reality is XRP still right above 50 cents, pretty much where it was before I left, okay? Just a few cents higher, maybe like a cent higher than before I left, right? It did pump a little bit while I was gone, but then you saw it couldn't hold to that 55 cent action and pushed all the way back down. Now, I have to go back to the story and say, okay, if wisdom is buying big on XRP, and you're not seeing the price action, but if the ETH ETF appears to be approaching and we're getting price action, and SOL is getting deeper in the green and moving up in price, of those three stories, which one do you think is bullshit? I mean, think about it, right? Like, I get it. Okay, so wisdom buying some XRP. Is that affecting the price? No, not really, okay? What about ETH ETF action that we've been talking about in the first story? Yeah, ETH 3,800. Before I left, it was right around 3. SOLANA ETF. We don't have futures, but now they're saying, hey, SOL would be the odds-on favorite to be the next one approved in an ETF. You look at the SOL price and you're like, oh, okay, SOL was left for dead in the $20 range, and now look at SOL. Way, way different. XRP has been fighting like 50 cents now for how many years, right? So of those three stories, which one do you think is hopium BS? Ding, 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 you are a winner. Now, again, I'm happy about the XRP action because you know what? XRP did get a pump to 55 cents on the ETH ETF news. And we know if there was going to be a direct XRP ETF, we would need some futures to be in place first. And we don't have that. Like, we just, that like, is not a mechanism that's in place, okay? And I know that's what's crossing a lot of our minds. Klaus, how come none of the news that we're hearing regarding XRP is really moving the price? We hear ETH news, boom, price action goes. Even a SOL rumor and the price action goes, but you're not seeing the juiciness with XRP. Now, as I was recording like that previous segment, like previously recording, XRP jumped up 1 cent. I know. It's not like the craziest thing, but the candlestick was pretty juicy. But what isn't juicy is the fact that a lot of these stories out here that we're learning in regards to Ripple and XRP are complete and utter BS. And even the ones that aren't complete and utter BS, they're not moving the price of XRP. So we got to go all the way back to the beginning and be like, all right, is it all BS? Is there some suppression of the price? Are the bots keeping the price down? Or will no news move XRP until the court case is over? Or is it all of those that I just listed? Now, I'm glad to be back, and I'm going to get into my regular routine. Don't worry, I've got a whole bunch more stories that I'm going to share with you, but I also got to train because I got a race coming up in 2 weeks, and I can't feel my legs from all the driving, so hopefully I will feel better here in the next several days. What have you been up to since I've been gone? Comment down below, and I'll probably read it while I'm doing my elliptical session later today. So, until the next story breaks, I'll catch you cool cats later.